The Boring Company has finished excavating the first of two tunnels planned for the Las Vegas Convention Center's underground loop transportation system. If you'll recall, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority tapped Elon Musk's company to develop the LVCC loop, which could cost around $52.5 million. The company called this development a breakthrough on its Twitter account and retweeted a video of its machinery breaking through a wall in the facility posted by the LVCVA. Boring's crew spent 3 months digging the nearly mile-long tunnel 40 feet underground. LVCVA says the project is scheduled to debut in January of 2021. Who knows, this system might even be ready by the time CES 2021 rolls around. The electric vehicles tasked with transporting people through the tunnels will be able to carry up to 4,400 people per hour because they can cut a 15-minute walk down to a minute-long ride. While this particular tunnel is for the LVCC loop, Boring also has plans to build a transportation system that covers the Strip and other parts of Vegas. The smartphone changed the world, but it wasn't all for the better. Mobile devices are packed full of endless productivity-killing distractions, and the ability to actually make a phone call almost seems like an afterthought now. A frustrated Justine Haupt came up with an unorthodox solution. She designed and built a mobile phone with a rotary dial that looks like it's 40 years old. There's an entire generation that probably won't be able to make sense of Haupt's rotary mobile phone, or why it has a bizarre circular wheel affixed to the top. For the rest of us who suffered through a time when placing calls meant spinning a plastic wheel, Haupt's creation seems like it was brought to Earth from a parallel dimension where mobile phones took an entirely different evolutionary route, and where technologies like touchscreens never came to fruition. According to Haupt's website, where she provides lots of details on how this creation came to be, the dial itself was salvaged from a Western Electric trimline telephone, which featured hardware that was more compact than other rotary phones from decades back. That, along with the necessary electronics needed to make the dial interface with modern cellular chipsets, was integrated with the custom-designed board that was manufactured in China and then stuffed into a 3D printed enclosure. The rotary mobile phone is far from pocketable, unless you're wearing an oversized novelty trench coat, but it's compact and light enough to pick up and hold to your ear for the length of an average phone call. Despite looking somewhat primitive, Haupt did integrate some useful features borrowed from modern smartphones, including a 10 LED signal meter, programmable shortcut buttons for calling specific people, a power switch that physically slides on and off, and a curved e-paper screen with 2 sections so that information like missed calls can be displayed on the side, like an old-school pager would. On her website, Haupt has shared not only photos of how her rotary mobile phone came together, but also raw schematics and links to all the original design files released as open-source materials, allowing anyone with the technical expertise to build their very own. And finally, happening in this week's What The, when screws and bits of metal started appearing in a bird feeder container, an infrared camera helped solve the mystery. Steve McKeers, who lives in Severn Beach near Bristol, said the problem started mid-February when he found a screw in among the peanuts he was preparing for the birds. He said he removed the screw, but the next day there was a load more in there. After the objects kept returning, he enlisted the help of a photographer who installed a motion-operated night vision camera and caught the little mouse who seemingly was cleaning up after himself. In this week's What The, I actually have 3 stories for you. My next one is out of the Town Centre Arcade in Katoomba Blue Mountains of New South Wales. That's in Australia, by the way. A visitor captured wonderful footage of a very determined cockatoo who was kept busy by removing strips of anti-bird spikes from a building's exterior to clear the way for a perfect perch. As the resolute bird methodically detached the strips one by one from their hold, they fell onto the ground with a satisfying clank, and it was all caught on video. And finally, in our final story of this week's What The, a dad of the year spent an entire year videoing his son making baby noises to put it all together to make Thunderstruck. Enjoy. That was awesome. Thank you so much to the developers of Mindshow for creating an amazing VR program that you can use with little to no training to create your very own animated projects like I did on today's program. If you want to know more, find Mindshow on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for watching your weekly tech update. If you have a story you think we should feature on the program, you need to send me an email, djraymcneil@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Your Weekly Tech Update, and check out the podcast, audio and video versions available on iTunes, Google, Spotify, Audio Burst, and elsewhere on the interwebs. Till next time, I'm Ray McNeil. Good night, world.